Hello, my name is Jonah and welcome to Bisaya Classroom. I am so happy that you are back and I know that you really want to learn. Are you excited to learn? If you are excited, please hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button so that you will be notified every time I release a lesson. There is also what I call the determined class. That special class has a lot of perks and that includes requesting one lesson for a month. So if you are interested to join the determined class, just click the join button and I'll be there waiting for you. Today is a very special lesson because this is requested by one of my students in the determined class, and that's Jason C. Thank you, Jason C, for requesting this lesson. Today, we are going to learn Bisaya numbers. Bisaya numbers from 0 to 1,000 or more. Okay? I'll be teaching you a lot of numbers. So if you are interested, just keep on watching. Okay, so I know that you are excited to learn Bisaya numbers. Now, let me tell you that there are two ways how we count. One is the traditional Bisaya numbers, which you will learn later. And the other one are the numbers that are very similar to Spanish numbers. Now, why we count using those Spanish numbers sometimes? Because we are colonized by this, yes, a little history. The Philippines was colonized by the Spaniards for quite a long time, and that's why we have acquired their culture from their food, language, and that includes numbers. So later on, you will realize that our way of counting is actually very influenced by the Spaniards. But before they came, we have our original Bisaya numbers already, and we will also be learning that. So I hope that you will stay tuned, you will listen properly, you will prepare your notes because we will be learning so much today, and I know that you are excited. Okay, so let us start. Okay, let us start with these numbers. Okay, so now you would see on the screen that I have displayed 0 to 9, and then afterwards that's the 10, 20, 30, 40, so on and so forth, and then I have the 100 and 1000. So the numbers in between will be learned later on, okay, because yeah, it will be very easy later on. Anyway, let's start with the single digit numbers. 0 or wala. By the way, the translations in blue are the traditional Bisaya numbers. Okay, so let's have usa, duha. You can say it after me. Okay, I'll be pausing for a little while to give you time to repeat the translation after me. Okay, again, let's start. 0 or wala, usa, duha, tulo, upat, lima, unom, pito, walo, siyam or siyam. Okay, so it depends how they pronounce, but for me I pronounce it as siyam. Okay, so those are the single digit numbers. Now let's go to the two digit numbers. Let's start with 10. That's napulo, napulo, kauhaan, katluan, kapatan, kaliman, kanuman, kapituan, kawaluhan, kasiyaman. Okay, now let's go to 100. Usaka gatos. So 100 is gatos. 1,000, that's usaka libo. That's libo is 1,000. Okay. Now before we continue, if you notice, maybe some Bisaya people are listening to me, you would agree with me that we Bisaya people don't actually use the traditional Bisaya numbers beyond napulo. So beyond 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We don't use the traditional Bisaya numbers anymore. I don't know why. Maybe because the other way of counting is more convenient, or I don't know, maybe there's a history behind it. But all I know is that nowadays we don't use the traditional Bisaya numbers beyond Napulo. So if you are a non-Bisaya speaker who is planning to visit our place, no need to use kauhaan, katluan, kapatan in a conversational setup, because even we Bisaya people won't understand. Okay? So anyway, we are learning this because Bisaya is a very wonderful language, and it's good that we remember these traditional numbers. Okay, these are treasures. And if you are a non-Filipino who is learning this now, you are very, very lucky or blessed, should I call that, because you are learning a thing that even the Filipinos have forgotten. Okay, anyway, sorry. Anyway, let's continue. Now I am going to flash here the other way of counting. I told you already that there are also numbers that we use which are very, very similar to Spanish numbers. So for one, that's uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cuatro sometimes. Okay, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, or sometimes it's pronounced as nueve, and then dix, veinte, treinta, cuarenta, cincuenta, sesenta, setenta, ochenta, noventa, and then 100 is ciento, 1000 is mil. Okay, another trivia. When in a conversational setup, when you are asking, from 1 to 9, I'm talking about from 1 to 9, okay? When somebody is asking how many or about a quantity, like pila ang imuhang dalang sapatos. So that's translated as how many shoes do you have? How many shoes did you bring? So you will not say, for example, if you have brought 3 shoes, you would not say tres. You should say tulo. So in terms of quantity, we use the Bisaya traditional numbers. But when in terms of price or the cost of something, I'm talking still from 0 to 9, we use the Spanish numbers, the Spanish inspired numbers. So for example, how much is this toy? If the toy costs $3 or 3 pesos, so we don't say tulo, we say tres. Okay, because when we say tulo, again, it's quantity. And then when we go beyond 10, that's napulo, when we go beyond 10, regardless if it is quantity or price, we use the Spanish numbers. Again, as what I have told you, we rarely use the numbers, the Bisaya numbers beyond 10 nowadays. I don't know on some other areas, but on my place and on Cebu also, I believe, and in most places in Cebu, most places in Davao, Mindanao, and in some Bisaya speaking places in Visayas, I believe they don't use these numbers kawaan beyond. Okay, do you get it? Anyway, let's continue. Let us start learning the numbers, the Bisaya numbers, the traditional Bisaya numbers. I want you to be patient, okay? Be patient. So let's start with the Bisaya numbers, okay? Let's have 11. Okay, look at 11. 11 is 10 and 1, right? So 10 in Bisaya, that's napulo, and then 1 is usa. So napulo and then usa. You just have to combine them to make 11. So how to say that one? That's napulog usa. Now you would ask me, what's that apostrophe G? That's ug. Okay, ug here functions as and. in the English language. Ug there functions as and. So ug there connects napulo and usa. Napulog usa. So we just omit letter U and we just contract it, so we have the apostrophe and G. You got it? Okay, so on and so forth. For example, if I say 19, that's 10 and 9. So what's 10? That's napulo. And then 9 is siyam. So we say napulog siyam or siyam. Napulog siyam. That's 19. That's the Bisaya translation of 19. Now don't be confused with the red translations, the Spanish-like numbers. We are going to discuss them later on. Okay, just focus on the the Bisaya numbers. Okay, those written in blue. Okay, now let's go to 15. 15, what's the Bisaya for 15? Napulog lima. Good job. Napulog lima. 10 and 5 together. Now let's have a bigger number. Let's have 72. So what's the Bisaya for 70? That's 70 and 2. So that's how we translate it. So kapituan. Now look at kapituan. If you look at kapituan, kapituan ends with a consonant. That's letter N. So in order to connect 70 and 2 together, we will omit letter N and we will just add apostrophe G. So it becomes kapituwag duha. Okay, kapituwag duha. And this rule applies from kauhaan 20 down to 90 kasiyaman, because all of them end with a consonant except for napulo. You got it? Okay, let's have another practice. How about 71? Can you tell me what's the Bisaya translation of 71? Okay, that's kapituwag usa. Isn't it easy? Yes, it's easy when you see the list. Okay, anyway, as a practice, you can have the list here. Okay, speaking of practice, let's practice. What is the traditional Bisaya translation of 81? Okay. Kawalohag usa. Who got it right? If you got it right, please comment down below. Okay, how about 18? That's 10 and 8 together. Napulog walo. Okay, very good. Good job. So you have passed, the first stage. Okay, let's now go to hundreds. Okay, so we are finished with the 2 digits, single digits. Now let's go to hundreds. So if you look at 100, that's usa ka gatos. So usa, that's 1, you remember? Okay, and then ka there just connects 1 and the 100. Okay, so usa ka gatos. What do you think would be the Bisaya translation for 200? Good job, that's duha ka gatos. How about 500? Lima ka gatos. Good job. How about, let's make it a little challenging, 510. So that's 500 and then 10. How do you translate it? Translate 500 first. Yes, very good. And 10, what's the Bisaya for 10? Very good. So we just combine them. It becomes lima ka gatos ug napulo. Okay, got it? Next, 518. So that's lima ka gatos ug napulog walo. Okay, remember 18 is 10 and 8, so napulog walo. Okay, let's have a practice. Are you ready? It becomes a little challenging now because we are now on the hundreds. 600. What is the translation for 600? Okay, that's correct. Onom kagatos. Good job. Next, 655. So the secret is, look at the biggest value first, translate that, and then you translate from left to right. That's how we read numbers. I think it's the same with English. So that's unom kagatos og kalimag lima. Okay, that's a lot to say. Imagine going to the store, and somebody would say, "How much is this?" You would say, "Unom kagatos og kalimag lima." Anyway, how nice it would be if our place would speak like that. Do you think it would be nice for the Bisaya people who are listening to me? Do you think it would be nice? For those who are non-Bisaya people, do you think it's nice? I think it's still nice, but the change of time. Anyway, let's continue the practice. 861. Walo kagatos ug kan umag-usa. Okay, very good. Good job! You have succeeded the hundreds. Again, we are still on the traditional Bisaya way of counting. I would like to reiterate that these numbers are actually not used nowadays. Okay, maybe it's rarely used, but from my place where I've been, I haven't heard my parents or the people around me use these numbers anymore. Anyway, it's still good to learn, right? Let's go to 1,000. So 1,000 is libo. So if it's 2,000, then what would be the translation? Correct, that's duha kalibo. Still the same concept with the previous numbers. 9,000, that's sham kalibo. See, it's easy, right? By the way, libo and gatos, it's also used nowadays. I heard, some vendors in our area, they sometimes use gatos and libo. But the two-digit numbers like nakawaan, katluan, kapatan, kaliman, that's seldomly used. I don't know, I haven't heard. But gatos and libo, it's used. You can use gatos and libo in the market if you want. Okay. Let's make it a little challenging. That's we have 9,400. So you just combine the two numbers. Siyam kalibo og upat kagatos. How about 9,411? So, siyam kalibo upat kagatos og napulog usa. Okay, that's 9,411. Okay, next. Let's have a practice. Oh, 10,000. What do you think is the translation for 10,000? Yes, who got it right? That's napulo kalibo. Okay, so on and so forth. How about 5,000? Easy, that's lima kalibo. Good job, you're done with the thousands. I think we're done with the Bisaya traditional numbers. Okay, now we're going to go to the numbers that are very much similar to the Spanish numbers. Okay, let me flash to you again the numbers that we're going to learn. If you notice, I have here the purple numbers because not like the Bisaya traditional numbers, the numbers 11 to 19 don't have a pattern. Okay, if you notice, Bisaya traditional numbers, they have a pattern, so it's a little easier when you just know the translation from 0 to 9, and then from by tens, and then hundreds and thousands. It's easier. But for the Spanish, 11 to 19, not Spanish, the Spanish inspired numbers. Okay, maybe you would say that's not Spanish. Okay, these are Spanish inspired numbers. 11 to 19, they are a little different. Anyway, let's go back. What's 0? Still 0. What's 1? Uno, yes. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 9, G's. Okay, now let's go. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, or 19. Then let's go to the by tens. We have 20, 30. If you notice 20 and 30, some spellings would have the letter E. A while ago, I think I showed a while ago that 20 has a letter E between Y and N. But it's actually optional, you know, the spelling. Sometimes it has an E, sometimes it doesn't have. So, 20, anyway, 30, next, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 1000. Okay, 100 is 100 and 1000 is 1000. Okay, so these are the Spanish-inspired numbers. Again, Bisaya people are comfortable using these numbers, especially the older generation. So, when you go to the market, sometimes the vendor would really use these numbers rather than, you know, the previous numbers that I taught you. Okay, so let's have 25. What do you think is the translation of 25 with this, you know, Spanish-inspired numbers? So 20, that's 20. 5 is 5. So you just combine them. 25. Same, you know, same concept with the Bisaya traditional numbers a while ago, but the words are a little different. Okay, let's have 21. 21. Okay, good. 23. 23. Good job. Okay, so now let's go to 33. 33, that's 33. There should be a letter Y there, so just, sorry, I forgot. Okay, so the spelling is 33. That letter apostrophe Y functions like the ug in Bisaya. So it connects 30 and tres, it becomes 33. 48, that's 48. Okay? So that's 40 and 8 combined, 48. Next, 54, that's 54. Okay, good. Let's have a little practice. 44, that's 40 and 4. Okay, 44. Very good. Another one. That's 90 and 9. 99. Very good. Good job. So it's very easy. What's easier? Spanish? Spanish, not Spanish. I'm always saying Spanish. These Spanish-inspired Bisaya numbers or the traditional Bisaya numbers? You choose. Okay, anyway, let's continue to 100. So 100 is 100. So if I say 400, so I just say 400. So 4 is 4, right? So 400 is 400. So I add letter S to 100. Okay, because it's more than one. So it's cientos. 400. 500, this is very special. Instead of saying 500, it's actually 500. Okay, this is a very unique. 500. 500 is 500. So when you go to the market, you heard someone, my salary is 500, so it means 500. She is earning 500, so she is earning 500. Okay. Next, 700, that's 700. Very good, 700. Okay, now let's make it a little complicated, or complicated, not complicated, challenging. 150. 150, what's 100? 100, very good. 50, 50. Very good. 150. Good job. 357. What's 300? 300. Okay, good. 300 is 300. 50 is 50. And then 7 is 7. Let's combine them together. 357. Okay, again. 357. 357. Okay, next. 457. What's 400? 400. Okay, 50, 50, and then 7, 7. Combine them. 457. Good. How about 414? What's 400? 400. And then 14. Look at 14. 14. So that's 414. Okay. Let's have a practice. 261. What's 261? Very good. 261. Good job. 965. 965. 965. Okay, next. 815. 815. Are you still okay? If you're still okay, clap your hands for yourself. It's actually not a very easy lesson, you know. But I'm glad that you are learning. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, we are not yet done. Don't skip out. Okay, we are going to learn thousands. So 1,000 is mil, right? So when I say 2,000, 2. What's 2? Very good. 2,000. As easy as that. Okay? Now let's make it a little challenging. 1,988. So what's 1,000? Mil. Very good. 900. 900. Very good. 88. What's 88? 88. Very good. Now let's combine the three of them. 1988. Again, 1988. That's 1,988. Okay, let's have a little easy. Let's have an easier one. Even me, I find it very difficult to pronounce. 3,400. 3,000. Very good. 3,000. 400. Very good. 3,000. 400. Okay, a little challenge for you. 3,431. 3,431. Very good. 3,431. 3,431. Okay, our dreaded practice. Okay, let's have a practice. If you will get it right, you're a genius in Bisaya numbers. 1,842. Okay, 1,842. Okay, very good. 1,842. Yay! We have learned a lot today. So again, there are two ways how we count, how Bisaya counts. The other one is the Bisaya traditional numbers, and one is the Spanish-inspired numbers. Both numbers are actually considered Bisaya counting. Okay, so don't be confused. And by the way, if you're talking about quantity from 0 to 9, use the Bisaya traditional numbers. But if you're talking about price or the cost of something from 0 to 9, use the Spanish inspired numbers. No, 0 to 10, I mean Spanish inspired numbers. And if you're planning to visit our place, I discourage you to use the Bisaya traditional numbers beyond 10 because nobody will understand you, okay? And by the way, for my co-Filipinos, Bisaya people who are listening right now, um, maybe we can see each other soon and we will be using the traditional numbers that we have discussed today, and it will be fun. I think it will be fun using those numbers. Imagine telling your age using your traditional using imagine telling the date of your birth date using the traditional Bisaya number, so it will be fun, I believe so. Okay, I think that would be all. Thank you so much, my dear students. Again, if you would like to join my determined class, you can join over there and I'll see you and we'll be having so much fun. Thank you so much, my dear learners, and I hope to see you next time in my Bisaya classroom.